Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Warning, you may or may not hear my dog slurping water in the background because I'm in the kitchen. She just got through doing it. Never Lose Hope. Good morning, Lori, Beach Bum, Winky, Cement Shoes, Faithful One. I'm scrolling, guys. Southern Mom. Did I say Beach Bum? Debbie, Mark, Denning. Good morning, Cheryl Lynn, Cement Shoes. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good Monday. So, today for our topic, we're going to talk about Clara Harris. She murdered her husband, David, back in 2002. And I came across this case because Carolina Girl, shout out to Carolina Girl, she sent me an article about a lady up in Norfolk, Virginia, that had just run over her husband. This lady up in Norfolk, after she ran over her husband, she spit on him. Yeah. Uh-oh, guys. Here comes Mark as soon as I started my live. God almighty. Let me mute just 1 second, guys. Give me just 1 second, guys, to get set up out here. I got to go get my charger so we can have privacy, because this is a good topic this morning. I've got a good article. I'm going to read y'all and go through this whole story. I'm eager to know what y'all's opinion's going to be on it. Hold on 1 sec. Okay, guys, my apologies. I had to get my charger to hook up out here. So we're going to sit on the porch. Skylar had went to play with my mother-in-law's neighbor's boxer, but she don't like to stay too long. So anyhow, now he got me all distracted. So yeah, there was a woman up in Norfolk that ran over her husband. I could show you guys that. I'd rather do it here in a little bit after we talk about Clara Harris. Clara and her husband, they're from Texas. Clara is originally from Colombia. But anyways, they were both orthodontists. They had like a good life until he started having an affair. And I think it's called the Texas Monthly. They write some good articles about true crime. So that's what we're going to read this morning. Let's see. Let me look at my chat. Light Feather. If I miss saying hi to anyone, I'm sorry. I just want to pull up Clara and David's picture. You want to hear something crazy? They got married on Valentine's Day, right? When she got convicted of his murder, she got convicted on Valentine's Day, 2003. Okay, here's some good images. Okay. Okay. Let me screen share. My ladybug will probably be hateful to Skylar when she comes in. She's always mad when Skylar comes back. But lady can't go. She can't get along with anyone. She can't get along with other dogs. Hey, Shuck. Good morning. Faithful one. Morning. Good morning, everyone. Okay, let me... Oh, God, I about timed somebody out. I hope I didn't. Goodness gracious. Let's pull up this picture of them. I mean, they were a nice-looking couple. And it was captured on video when she ran David over. So let me go back over here where I can see my top chat. Tell Melissa good morning, Cement Shoes. Good morning, TC. Okay. Let me find my article, guys. This is a good read. It really is. And there's actually a Lifetime movie about this case. Let me fix it where it goes all the way across the screen. Now, she only got 20 years for running him over. And she's already out of prison. Okay. This is by Texas Monthly. It's called Suburban Madness. If I can get to it here. I should have pulled that up. Let me see. That's a better picture of her. Well, that's okay. So are you guys ready? I also believe some young adult was in the car with her. Yes, Winky. I wasn't going to tell y'all right off the bat. But yes, David's daughter was in the vehicle with Clara when she ran David over. David's daughter, Lindsay. Lindsay and Clara had a very close relationship. Because Lindsay was like 3 years old when Clara met David and married him. Bless her heart. She testified at court and she said that she could feel the bumps when they, the car ran over her dad. Hey, Lisa, good morning. Oh, that's okay, Winky. That's okay. Okay. Now, her lawyers claim this was like a crime of passion. That's why she only got like 20 years. Okay, it says, Clara Harris, the accused killer. Why would a devoted wife deliberately run over her beloved husband 3 times? It's quite simple, really. He was having an affair with a woman accused by her allegedly pill-popping ex-husband of carrying on a lesbian relationship with her best friend, whose ex-husband has been indicted for an illegal wiretapping scheme designed to catch the two in the act and cover up his own infidelities. I mean, this is a crazy story, guys. Cover up his own infidelities with her former Lamaze class buddy. Any questions, it says? That's very confusing, so we're going to read that again. Why would a devoted wife deliberately run over her beloved husband 3 times? It's quite simple, really. He was having an affair with a woman accused by her allegedly pill-popping ex-husband of carrying on a lesbian relationship with her best friend, whose ex-husband has been indicted for illegal wiretapping scheme designed to catch the two in the act and cover up his own infidelities with her former Lamaze class buddy. Crazy. So we're going to get into it, guys. Late in the afternoon of July 24th, 2002, Clara Harris, a pretty and personable 44-year-old dentist from the Houston suburbs, put on a silky blue blouse and cream-colored slacks. She brushed her hair and tied it in place with a bow. She then took Lindsay, her husband's 16-year-old daughter from a brief first marriage, for a drive in her silver S-Class 430 Mercedes-Benz. Clara loved her Mercedes-Benz. She had once told her husband, David Harris, a spectacular, successful orthodontist who had as many as 120 crooked teeth adolescents a day coming through his office, that the only extravagance in life she cared about was owning a Mercedes Benz. For her, the car was a shining symbol of all that she had been able to accomplish. She had been born in Bogota, Colombia, I think it says that, and raised by her widowed mother. Determined to make a living for herself, she had studied dentistry there before coming to the United States for more training in the late 80s. With her thick red hair and her perfect smile and a little mole on her left cheek, she looked like a beauty queen. In fact, she had been crowned Miss Columbia Houston in a local contest soon after completing her residency at the University of Texas Houston Dental Branch. I remember David calling soon after he had met Clara and telling me he was completely smitten. His father, Gerald, would later tell me. I guess they're saying tell me, like I guess the author of this article, I'm assuming. Okay, Clara felt no differently about David. They met in 1991. They were both in their early 30s and working at the Castle Dental Center in Houston. David was not only brilliant when it came to teeth, he had graduated second in his class, also from the Houston Dental Branch, but he had a charming, folksy nature, his favorite word being jolly. They married on Valentine's Day, 1992. Less than a year after their first date, they held a reception at the Nassau Bay Hilton Hotel, about 30 miles south of downtown Houston, across the highway from the looming Johnson Space Center, and not far from where David would eventually open his first practice, Space Center Orthodontics. I found the best, Clara once told a reporter from a newspaper. Sarah opened her own dental practice in 1993. Okay, this is what she said about David. I found the one God had reserved for me. She put photographs of the two of them in her office, replacing them with new ones every few months. And she also talked to David 2 or 3 times a day on the phone, never hanging up before saying, I love you. And in 1998, she gave birth to 2 healthy twin sons. Oh my God, these people outside. Okay. Hold on, guys. I lost my place. Okay. It says she gave birth to 2 twin sons, and she enjoyed a splendid relationship with David's daughter, Lindsay, a talented violinist who lived with them in the summers after spending the school year with her mother, who had moved to Ohio. And it says no matter how many patients Clara had to see, she always got home in time to cook dinner for her family in their white brick home, worth more than $500,000, in the cheerily named suburb of Friendswood. She had the perfect life. She often told her patients, for Clara it was always David, David, David. One of her co-workers said, I used to tell people that I wished I could be able to love my husband in the same way that Clara loves David. But on that July evening, David Harris had decided not to be with his wife. He was meeting a receptionist who worked at his office, a petite, stylish 39-year-old mother of 3 named Gail Bridges. Less than 2 years earlier, Gail had divorced Stephen Bridges, a popular State Farm agent who had clients all over the suburbs south of Houston. They too seemingly had the perfect life, but they had lived in an exclusive gated subdivision called South Shore Harbor in League City, a suburb just across Interstate 45 from Friendswood. I'm going to have to go back inside, guys, I think. Can y'all hear that truck running? Is it loud? Let me just step in a second. I can't. It's loud to me. Okay. So Clara and David's living the perfect life, but he starts having an affair with the receptionist. I'm just going to go in the bathroom here for a second. Excuse me, Skylar. She likes to lay in the bathroom. Okay. Hey, Red Rum. Good morning. Let me see what I did here. Okay. So they lived, where was I at? So they lived in League City, a suburb just across Interstate 45 from Friendswood. After carpooling her kids to school, Gail, a former high school cheerleader, could be found at La Ma Madeline, sipping coffee and chatting with other beautiful mothers. She had flawless alabaster skin, eyes as brown as almonds, and pixie-ish Dorothy Hamill-like haircut. Wow. Compared with other neighborhood wives, her breast implants were not overly large. But after her divorce in November 2000, she moved to a smaller home in an ungated neighborhood, and she eventually started looking for work, and she was hired by Space Center Orthodontics in August 2001, which is David hired her. She was making only about $1,800 a month, hardly the kind of money she was used to, but she did like the job, in part because she got along famously with the orthodontist, Dr. Harris. And it says Dr. Harris started lingering at the front desk to talk to her. And in late February 2002, he quietly asked her if she would like to have lunch at Perry's restaurant. By April or May, they were intimate. They began meeting at the Nassau Bay Hilton, the site of his wedding reception, where the rooms had views overlooking the water. Well, I'm so sorry, Skylar. I'm disturbing you, the dog. That's where David had asked Gail to meet him on July 24th. He used cash to purchase a room under an unassumed name, and together they walked into an elevator and headed upstairs. When they came back down about an hour and a half later, Clara and Lindsay were standing in the lobby. Let me mute one sec, guys. I'm sorry, guys. My dogs was acting up. So this is the point that Clara confronts David about the affair. And how she knows that they're at the hotel together is because she hired a private detective. She had somehow wiretapped David's phone and recorded phone calls between David and Gail, his mistress, and she had took those tapes to Blue Moon Investigations. Okay, she called them, and they told her that where David was at, because they had been surveilling him. They had a camera set up there at the hotel like out in the parking lot. But anyways, and they told her, we'll give you the full report tomorrow. But Clara didn't wait on it. She rushed over to the hotel. Lindsay is with her. They go into the lobby. Out comes David and Gail, arm in arm, right? There's a little scuffle. Hotel security makes Clara leave. But before they make her leave, David's actually holding her down on the ground with her head into the pavement. Then, after she gets to her car, her and Lindsay, she gets in, backs out, goes around to Gail's vehicle, rams Gail's vehicle, hits David, and throws him across two grassy medians, which are 25 feet apart. The prosecutors allege she then took her car, crossed both of the grassy medians, and ran over David again. Her defense says that she didn't, that she only hit him once. I'm sorry, I got distracted, guys. There's a lot more to the story, see. She found out about this affair before she caught him red-handed and confronted him, before she even went to the private investigators. Because someone had told her about it that worked at his office. They had took her out to dinner, and they told her about it, right? So she confronted him, and he did admit to it. And Gail was like, very upset, and she was like, make me a list of comparisons between me and Gail, right? And he did. He made a list of what was, basically how Gail was better than her. Her breasts were better. She was skinnier. Her feet were small. She was kind of made petite. And Clara did try to improve herself. She got like a new hairdo. She made an appointment for like liposuction. Just tried to, look better. And it did work for a little bit. And he told Clara he wanted to end his relationship with Gail. But then I don't know really what happened. He didn't end his relationship with Gail. So after that, that's when she went to the private detectives, Blue Moon Investigations, and gave them the tapes. Now, let me get back to my article here. I hate we got interrupted so many times. Okay. So when she hit him with the car, it propelled him 25 feet across the parking lot. Witnesses, and you got to remember, David's daughter is in the car. And it says witnesses heard Lindsay screaming. They saw her open the door and stick her feet on the ground, attempting either to escape or stop the car. But Clara again aimed her car at her husband's crumpled body, pressed the accelerator. The Mercedes-Benz bounced twice as the front tires and then the back tires rolled over him. She whipped the car around, hit the accelerator again. Then she drove over her husband a second time. Then she did another 180 and ran over him a third time before coming to a stop. According to witnesses, Lindsay then got out of the car, rushed around to the driver's side, and punched Clara in the face. Then she collapsed on the ground and sobbed. When Clara got out of the car, she didn't seem to know what to do, the witnesses said. She finally walked over to her husband. She stared at him, and then she too began to sob. Before the police arrived to arrest her for murder, the witnesses added, she cradled him in her arms and begged him to breathe. I'm so sorry, she was heard saying over and over. David, I'm so sorry. I love you. So she was arrested, of course, for his murder. And it says the murder made headlines all over the world. Seems like I do kind of remember this. Do any of y'all remember this? I've been reading, so let me just look at the chat here. Yeah, he was a cheater, but gosh, there's a lot of men and women that cheat. You can't murder your partner for it. She begged him to breathe after running over him. What caused her to do it? She caught him red handed coming out of the hotel lobby with his mistress, a woman that had been working for him. Yeah, and the whole thing is caught on tape. Because remember, I said she hired the Blue Moon Detectives Investigations. So they had set up surveillance. That's how she knew where he was at. She had called them and they told her, like, tomorrow we'll give you the full report, but he's at such and such address hotel. It's in such and such room. So she grabs David's teenage daughter and goes to the hotel. Yeah, so they had a camera set up in the parking lot to capture them leaving the hotel together. But it captured Clara running over David. She was obsessed with him. They said that she looked like, when I was talking about, he made a list of what he liked better about Gail. Like, her breast was bigger, all this. Well, Gail looked at it like a challenge. Like she would go get her breasts fixed. Like she looked at it like a business deal. Improve herself to get him back. Yeah, mental abuse is wrong. She was likely obsessed but pissed off. Yeah, I remember she was obsessed with that's what caused her to kill him instead of leaving him. Yeah, let me go look. I got something here where we can look at what her defense team was saying. You might have to go back outside. I'm going to have to have a cigarette. Okay, murder and trial. So we know what happened. Okay. So David was dead at the scene, guys. But Claire's trial began the following February. Lindsay testified against her stepmother, claiming she told her to stop the vehicle. The prosecution claimed Clara's actions were more than a crime of passion, but that she wanted to hurt David, as she was heard saying in a police interview. Also introduced at her trial was a videotape of the crime, recorded by the detective agency Clara had hired when she suspected David of having an affair. The video was especially damning, as it showed her circling her Mercedes around the parking lot 3 times. Although David is not clearly seen in the video, Clara then parks her car next to his body. The defense attempts to prove that Clara ran David over only once. Hold on a minute. The defense attempts to prove that Clara ran him over only once crumbled when the judge ruled their recreation of the crime by a private consultant inadmissible in court. Her attorney explained um, what was in the report, using the consultant as an expert witness on the stand. They argued that Clara could only have ran him over once, and that the turning radius of her Mercedes would not have allowed for her to sharply turn and run him over a second time. The prosecution admitted that it was a good argument, but countered by bringing in a police officer who had been present at the scene, who pointed out another tire track on the pavement shown in a police photograph, the angle of which went directly to where David's body had been. So Clara was advised not to take the stand. However, after watching days of testimony, she decided she had to speak. Taking the stand allowed parts of Clara's original interview, which her attorneys had previously gotten inadmissible, to come into question. Only part of the interview was played. The jury heard Clara state that she wanted to hurt her husband, but not the portion where she said later in the interview, "I didn't want to kill him." This caused her attorneys to collapse from stress, causing the court to go into recess as he was taken to the hospital and later released. Gosh, what a circus. Her attorney collapsed in court. Clara contends that she did not see David when she ran into him with her car. Despite the medical examiner's report, the defense was unable to prove that she did not, in fact, run over him multiple times. Clara was found guilty of murdering her husband on February 14, 2003. She was sentenced to 20 years in prison, a maximum sentence allowed by the jury's sudden passion finding, and fined $10,000. She was incarcerated at the Mountain View unit in Gatesville, Texas, where she converted school textbooks to Braille for blind students. Clara's sons, who are in the custody of family and friends, were said to visit about once a month. She was denied parole, her first attempt for parole, April 11, 2013, by the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles. Her second pardon or parole request was denied in September 2016. However, she was granted parole in November 2017. Well, I wouldn't want to date her and cheat on her. That's a sad case. Guys, can you imagine his daughter in the car with her as she ran David over? I reckon on the stand, she testified that, she could feel the bumps as they ran up, as the vehicle ran him over. Chaha, good morning. Welcome. We got to take a trip outside, guys. And then I'm going to look at the chat, and then I'm going to share that story where the woman ran her husband over in Norfolk. I can never say that. And then she spit on him. Don't seem so loud out here now. Okay. Oh my goodness. I hope I didn't drop my cigarettes off the porch. Sorry, guys. I'm unorganized this morning. I probably should have just stuck with doing topics this morning. Has it been a bad stream? Oh my gosh, I see something about Carol Baskin. He controlled everything. She had nothing. Oh my God. I've got that video, guys. If y'all want to watch her running him over. Let me stop screen sharing this for a second. My rooster, as soon as he hears my voice, guys, when I'm outside, he starts that. Let me get in my Discord room where I keep my links and articles, because we'll see if the video will play. I have trouble playing videos on here. Okay. Wow, Discord's acting weird. This cord is hard to use on a Chromebook. Let's see. It's right here. Daily Mail. It's probably because I'm outside too. But we'll see if we can get it to play. We may have to walk into the kitchen. I'm going to see if I can get it to play before I screen share. Let me look at the chat here. Oh, I need to warm my coffee. I'm going to go ahead and push play. We needed to do a stream about Celeste Beard one day too. That's a good case. That made national headlines too. Come on, video, play. Let's walk in and see if I can get it to play. Okay. Now, let me screen share it. Mark's listening to something loud. My apologies. Okay. Hopefully that it will play. Still don't want to play. I wish we could watch it. Let me stop for a second. Okay, now it was trying to play. I don't want to play, guys. It's trying to play it. But it's not working. Sorry about that. I don't know what's wrong with it. See, it plays it a little bit and then it won't play. Excuse me, guys. No, you guys are not coming out. I was just trying to get that video to play. Oh my gosh. Oh, now it wants to play some. Oh, there's a beautiful butterfly. There it goes, guys. You can see like she's circling around. Let me stop playing it a minute. Well, this stream has just totally sucked. Damn video won't play. That's so annoying. So annoying. So I want to look at this article Carolina girl sent me the other day. And screen shared that with you because this lady ran over her husband too. All I know is that she ran over him and she spit on him. Let's see what it says. It has a video, but it probably won't play. A woman has left her husband in a life-threatening condition after allegedly running him over with her vehicle in a domestic assault incident outside a shopping mall in Norfolk, Virginia on Thursday. Videos widely circulated on social media show the aftermath of the attack, which took place in the parking lot of the Janaf Shopping Center on the 5900 block of East Virginia Beach Boulevard. Oh my gosh, there's a picture of it. He's laying there on the ground. I guess that's her. God almighty, man, there are some psycho women in the world. A shocking Facebook Live video shot immediately after the woman allegedly run the man over with the car shows the man lying motionless on the ground in a pool of blood behind the red sedan. He's dead, the woman filming the video can be heard saying. I'm sick of him. The wife, who appears to have been behind the wheel of the vehicle, reportedly shouts, I hope you're dead. She hit him with the car, a bystander can be heard saying. He's effing selfish every day of your effing life, the woman yells at her husband on the ground before picking up the car's bumper lying nearby and hitting him with it. Another onlooker can be heard saying the man was still breathing while he was on the ground in the video. I gave you 18 years of my effing life, she yells at the man at one point before spitting on him. It says watch the video below, but
he's dead. This shit is crazy. This shit is crazy.
oh my God.
He's dead, and
You're selfish. Is nobody trying to help him?
Get the baby the fuck out of here. Who baby is that?
Is there a baby in the
lady
vehicle?
with the pink shirt, she just ran over him. Like she killed him. He's bleeding. I was getting my nails done, so when I was getting my nails done, I just see this. He's dead. The lady with the pink shirt, she did it.
Yeah, zoom in.
She going to jail today.
She's going to prison. Can y'all believe that crap? Talk about a psycho. Okay, so he was rushed to the local hospital to receive treatment for his injuries, which are said to be life-threatening, and he continues to remain in critical condition. Okay, the woman whose identity is not yet known is currently in police custody. Carolina girl, have they released her name yet? Oh, crap, did I just erase Beach Bum's message? I wonder what her motive was. What was she so angry about? We've got to find out more information. I got to look. Find another article, see if there's any more info. Okay, yeah. She's charged with seriously. Okay, it says Portsmouth woman charged after seriously injuring a man with her vehicle and domestic assault. I'm trying to see what she was charged with.
Norfolk yesterday has been charged. 34-year-old Bashira Tripp faces an aggravated assault charge at a Janif shopping center. Police responded to the shopping center around 3:45 yesterday afternoon. They found a man with serious injuries after a vehicle hit him. Paramedics took him to the hospital where he's currently in critical condition. Officers say they took Tripp into custody at the scene. She's being held in the Norfolk City jail without. When I was your age, I was just.
Crap. It went to an advertisement, guys. So I think it was getting ready to say she's held without bond. I just wanted to know exactly what her charges are. Should be like attempted murder, if you ask me. I've never seen anyone go that psycho. Well, I've seen men go that psycho. I've never saw a woman go that psycho. Like, what in the hell was she mad at? I can't believe she picked up that car bumper and hit him with it, and he's lying there motionless on the ground. You know, he was bleeding. People are so crazy. Wouldn't it be crazy if that man didn't even know that woman? Yeah, that would be crazy. He left rice on top of the fridge, and that set her off. Oh, God, really? A woman scorned. Yeah. These two women we've talked about this morning remind me of Betty Broderick. She was definitely a woman scorned. Definitely. So I didn't see that on any, I didn't see it on YouTube. They said the video was circulating around. She's in a lot of trouble. She better hope and pray that he doesn't die. Lucy Love, yeah, another level of crazy, yes. Winky, let's see, I was going to read Winky's comment, and it scrolled. Maybe she wanted money to go shopping at the shopping center, and he said no, and she lost it after 18 years of him saying no. Jeez. Like, I get getting to your boiling point when you're tired of putting up with somebody's crap after so many years. But gosh, I've never been that angry, upset with Mark. I wanted to harm him personally. Now, my first husband that was physically abusive, mentally abusive, yes. Yes, I thought about harming him. I sure did. I'm glad I just got away from him and didn't do anything crazy. Because, you know, sometimes when women are battered and stuff, they will just snap and kill their abuser. It's called battered wife syndrome. You just snap. Hey, Nary, good to see you. She says, hey, Sugar Plums. Clara Harris was one of the cases I was more interested in here and listening while doing things. Well, I didn't do too good of a job on it this morning, Nary, but I tried. I just learned about it, and I just thought that was a good little article to read. See, you always make me laugh. There's a live press conference about Carol Baskin. I think that's we're going to do Carol Baskin. I may have to do another live today or save it for tomorrow or something. She's put out diary videos talking about Dawn's disappearance. Carol Baskin was on HLN yesterday morning. They was talking about the disappearance of Dawn. Let me look up here. But his daughters were supposed to be doing a press conference. Because they're offering a reward. Right here it is. For anyone with information, you know, that leads to, you know, the arrest and conviction of who's responsible for Dawn's disappearance. Okay, there's a new chapter for the Tiger King saga. Jacksonville-based attorney John Phillips announced he is representing the family of Don Lewis. Lewis is the missing millionaire who was married to Big Cat Rescue founder Carol freaking Baskin. The announcement is coming this morning. Phillips said he will hold a news conference in Tampa at 11 a.m. Okay, so they were looking for an attorney to take this case. Miss and love you, CC, X Games champ. Thank you for the super chat. I'm not familiar. I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with your name. Did you change your name? Were you somebody else on YouTube changed your name? Julie, where the hell have you been? I've been looking for you everywhere. I don't know if the press conference is going to be exactly about Carol, Katie, but I do know it's going to be about Dawn's disappearance. His daughters wanted this done. I knew this press conference was coming because I watch Ripper Jack Media. He's got a close relationship with Don Lewis's daughters. I've been being a hermit. Well, that's okay, Julie. I don't blame you. I do that a lot too. I listen to a lot of things and don't ever comment. Okay, so the sheriff chronister says his office has been flooded with tips, and the sheriff says he now believes Don Lewis was murdered. Of course he was murdered. However, Sheriff Chronister hasn't named any suspects. You're going down, Carol. You're going down, Carol freaking Baskin. I could play this video and see what it says. Oh, it's an ad. It just says basically what I just read. Here's something else about Carol. Carol Baskin comes for Cardi B and Megan the Stallion over WAP video. WAP video. What's WAP video? The stars released their new hit along with its elaborate music video on Friday to much fanfare, but not everyone's impressed. Some shots show Cardi lounging in a leopard print outfit as leopards wander about in the room, while others see Megan donning a white tiger print outfit with white tigers seemingly knocking about. Despite the cats presumably being projected in green screens, not actually being in the room, Carol freaking Baskin is not having it. What? She told Metro UK in a statement, "My guess is that most people won't even see the photoshopped cats in the scene because the rest of it is so lurid. I was happy to see that it does appear to be all photoshopped. It didn't look like cats were really in the rooms with the singers." Well, why are you bitching about it for, Carol? If there wasn't even no real cats there. Let's see what she says. In fact, probably most of the rooms were photoshopped by a green screen. That being said, you have to pose a wildcat in front of a green screen to get that image. And that doesn't happen in the wild. It can't happen in sanctuaries like ours where cats have plenty of room to avoid a green screen, or would shred it if offered access and could die from ingesting it. That tells me they probably dealt with one of the big cat pimps, who makes a living from beating, shocking, starving cats to make them stand on cue in front of a green screen in a studio. That's never good for the cat. The worst part is that it glamorizes the idea of rich people having tigers as pets. That makes every ignorant follower want to uh, imitate by doing the same. After tigers are too old for play for pay to play sessions by people like Joe Exotic or Doc Antle and others, they become a liability instead of an asset. While I think most are destroyed behind closed gates at that point, some end up being given away to people who want to have a tiger to show off. That never works out, and cats either die or end up dumped in sanctuaries or, worse yet, breeding mills. Either way, it's always abusive to the cat. Oh, you mean like the way you used to abuse cats, Carol? And probably still do? Are you talking about like the way you used to breed cats and have tiger cubs and then do God knows what with them? Is that what you mean? Bitch. She just kills me. Like, I don't think, I've never heard of Carol abusing an animal. Well, yeah, the rabbit incident, but like the big cats, they are fed and stuff like that, right? They got room to roam around, even though her setup still sucks. But she did breed cats. She did used to take cats on TV shows and this and that and make money off of it. She's a damn hypocrite. She needs to go eat some more Xanax. Hey, Lissa. I missed who X Games is. I don't know if they ever told me who their name was. Thank you again for the super chat. Appreciate it. Yeah, Carol's done all these same things. Carol also scams people. She has. It's been proven, caught on video, saying that she's rescued a tiger cub. It's got all this medical things wrong with it, raised a bunch of money. Then here pops up a video that tiger running about, playing, jumping, after she told everybody it couldn't walk on its back legs. She's a con artist. X Games champ. Laugh out loud. I text you. Oh, okay. Do you have my new number? I had my numbers changed. I changed it just a while back. I'll see if I got any text message. You may not have my new number. Okay, well, I'll figure it out. I'm going to try to record this press conference. I'm eager to see what's said. Ripper Jack, he has really helped Dawn's daughters a lot. It's really helped get the word out, and it's really dug into Dawn's disappearance. And he's produced some damn good evidence, like documents. She did Carol forged Dawn's will. She did it. She knew he was going to divorce her. She wasn't going to get nothing. She forged the will so she could get everything. It's been proven by 4 different handwriting experts. But there's nothing that can be done criminally. The statute of limitations is up on it. The only thing that can be done is like Dawn's daughters taking action, like suing her or something. Oh, okay, X Games champ. I'll check my Patreon when I get off here. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat again. Appreciate it. Anyways, Carol has she put out some videos. Let me pull up one of Carol Baskin's videos. I want y'all to listen. There's really nothing she can do about playing her video. She could do something if I used like her whole video and didn't have like any commentary or anything like that. Let's see. Which one is it? Let me see if it's this one. Oh, yeah, this is it.
Important. I just let it slide.
Hold on. Let me get it up to the mic. Turn your volume up. You know she talks low as hell.
Donna's been missing since yesterday morning before dawn, which isn't unusual except that he didn't call Ann McQueen all day, and she said she even paged him into the night, and he still did not call her back. She said in all the years that she has worked for him that he has never failed to call her for such a long period of time. He's been real pouty and moody lately, and ignoring us when we talk to him, but we never know if we are being snubbed or if he just didn't hear us. If it's not important, I just let it slide and don't ask louder. We haven't had a fight, other than the ongoing issue about him not getting keys to the cages, and to that end, after he began just cutting holes in the cages to get the cats out, I gave him a set of keys and told him that I didn't have copies of the bigger cat keys, but that I would make him a set soon. He doesn't usually mess with the big cats, so I figured I could postpone him indefinitely on that point, and he should have been happy to have the keys to all of the servals, caracals, and lynx. He appeared justified, if not happy. He's been raising two little...
I'm going to pause a second. Notice how she talks about him like he's like a child or something. Like he never, every time she talks about him, she acts like he never knows what he's doing. Just like he's crazy.
Caracal kittens. Elijah was one of them and was born on August 1st, 1997, and has seemed to take a great deal of interest and pride in doing so. He pulled them much too young, and I am already raising a very difficult little bobcat kitten, Katera, so I did not jump in and offer to do his midnight and 3 a.m. feedings. And I didn't write it here, but Katera had, his mother had bitten him through the head, and he had head injuries, and so feeding him would take hours each.
What was you doing breeding bobcats? Why you got a bobcat kitten?
Time. He wasn't a normal kitten that I could feed and then add a bunch of other kittens to my list.
Get on with
Don
it, lady.
Hasn't dutifully gotten up for these feedings every night, but he does the 7 a.m. feeding.
Let's speed this shit up.
During the day, he has made no provisions for the kittens to be fed, other than allowing every volunteer who asks to feed. Okay. We have never had a cub survive a lot of inexperience, and I have been reluctant to get attached to them at all, because I have been so sure that his approach would kill these two. He began this while I was in Jacksonville.
Just a screw up, right?
I haven't written much in a while because things have been going smoothly for a change. He has been working on selling the scrap in the yard and having it all hauled off. He took care of things with Jamie supervising while I went away for 4 days in Jacksonville for the Long Island Ocelot Conference, and no one died or got loose. He bought my mother a sewing machine and my daughter several wave runners and gave me the pair of snow leopards that he knew I'd thought about for a very long time, although I'd never said so.
Snow leopards are almost an endangered species. That kills me that she owns snow leopards. It really does.
And if you're wondering how he knew that, it's because there were these plates that you used to be able to buy that had different cats and stuff on them by artists, and I had gotten some of snow leopards because I thought they were so beautiful. So I had these snow leopard plates that I'd put up all through the house. So that's how he knew I was admiring these mystical cats.
Yeah. Dummy.
He's been pretty reliable in helping with the evening feedings of the adult cats. He's acted depressed and not very affectionate, but has been much easier to deal with in the recent past. Cutting up the cages, overbreeding the cats, and moving them from nice yards into small cages have been the only hateful things he's done, and I've just let it slide, and once he's forgotten about the cats, I would put them back where they belong and repair the pens.
Oh, yeah.
I get frustrated because there is always so much work to be done, and he has nothing to do except impede progress, but I really can't get angry with him because I know that he is no longer responsible for his actions.
Get that? Did you hear what she said? I know he is no longer responsible for his actions. She wants everybody to think that Don was not in his right mind, and that's why he disappeared. Like he wandered off or something happened to him because he had like dementia. That's what she wants everybody to believe.
This Thursday, he started complaining more than usual about his diarrhea. But he was also complaining that he wasn't getting his vitamins when I was standing over him and watching him take them, so I didn't pay much attention to him. Saturday, he felt good enough to go yard sailing and brought home washers, dryers, guns, motorcycles, and assorted junk for his impending export to Costa Rica above the Aveco. That night, he was in and out until midnight or later, digging through all of his yard sale goods to pack. I remember hearing him on the phone with Wendell Williams, saying that the signs would be delivered for the 26 lots on Monday. He was testing the microwaves and televisions and moving stuff back and forth between the trucks, trailers, and sheds. He didn't want my help, so I fed the kittens and went to bed.
Probably wouldn't help him anyway.
Sunday, he said he was too sick to go to church, but when I got home from the morning services, he was out in the yard busily packing and sorting the box truck for Costa Rica.
You go to church?
I finished making the signs for our 26 lots and then laid down because Sunday is the only day I get for rest. During the day, Don was in and out of the bedroom, scurrying around like a little squirrel, reading the newspaper. And when I say that, he could read the classifieds. That's the only part of the newspaper he could read. He could make out the names.
So she claims that Don didn't know how to read and write.
Different types of boats and planes and cars that he wanted. And of course, he could read the numbers. He was looking for more guns and motorcycles and planes. I don't remember him calling anyone. Maybe he already had. He was nowhere to be found when it was time for evening services either. So Jamie and I went without him. Sunday night, I needed ingredients for the kid formula and trash cans. I thought Albertsons was an all-night store. So after the 11 p.m. feeding, I drove up there. Albertsons was closed. The station wagon I used overheated, and I could not get the radiator cap off. I let the car sit for a long time, and I tried to start it with no success, so I began walking home. I tried to call my daughter, but no one answered. She never does. I tried both lines at home, but the bobcats had peed on the phones by the bed, and I had unplugged them to wash them off and had not plugged them back in. So even if Don was in the bedroom, he could not have heard the phones ringing. My brother was on patrol on Sheldon Road and was in the middle of an arrest, so he asked another cop to drive me home. But by this time, I was almost there.
Her brother's a cop.
I told Don about the car, and he wanted to go get it right then, which was around 4 o'clock in the morning. He was mad about me letting it get overheated and reminded me about the van that died the same way back in February while I was driving. Rather than argue, I just let him rant on as we went for the wagon. I don't know why the mad rush to get the car, but I assume he did not believe me and perhaps thought he would catch me at something if he raced up there, only not to find my car. He filled the radiator and started it back up, and so we took both vehicles back home. He gave me his car phone in case something happened, but who was I going to call? I got home a few minutes ahead of him, and when he laid down beside me, he was calmed and tender. We only slept for about an hour or so, and I was just dead to the world when I heard his voice from the bedroom door. I squinted to see him and could only make out an outline because it was still dark outside and there were no lights on in the room. I looked at the clock, but the lighted dial was out. I later found it unplugged. He said to have the guys load all of his stuff in the box truck for Costa Rica and make sure it was running real good because he was going to leave early for Miami tomorrow. I had found out through Rich Reed, one of our volunteers, that Don was planning to go to Costa Rica before schedule. Don hadn't told me, but he often didn't. I suspect that he did not want to give me time to plan things that he would not approve, like repairs and scrap dealers. I got back up at 7:15 a.m. and fed my bobcat kitten, Katera. I had at first assumed that he had gotten up so early to feed his little caracals, but they were screaming and ate more than usual, so he must not have fed them. Dad got here around 7:30, and I relayed Don's message and asked him to relay the part about getting the truck running real good to Kenny if he came in. A few minutes later, Dad showed me where the clutch had been taken completely loose, and when Kenny got in, he said that it was like that on Saturday when Don had asked him to carry the box truck with the forklift over next to the semi-trailer. Kenny said that Don had some other mechanic doing the work for him, and Ann tried to call the mechanic 3 times with no success. Who writes all this down? I had filed the eviction and foreclosure at the courthouse, and the Taurus wagon overheated on the interstate. My Jeep still had a dead battery. I walked down to the West Shore exit where I felt it was safest to depart, and from there to the Shell station with a garage. Juan carried water to the car with me, and what seemed an endless time later, he got the car cranked and we drove it to the station. Juan showed me how the radiator cap had not been screwed down, and the steam marks from where the radiator fluids had escaped on the one side that was tilted out. Apparently, Don did not put the cap entirely back on last night. Maybe he didn't screw it down tight because I couldn't get it off the night before. I should have checked. He and a Jamaican-sounding manager, who suggested that I try chickens and voodoo on the doomed car, worked on the wagon for a long time and then said the car needed $1,200 in head gaskets. And I told them I only paid $600 for the whole car, so I would send our wrecker after it. I only had a little bit of cash on me, so I hired a cab to take me part of the way home and then walk the rest. My legs hurt so bad I can hardly stand up. When I got home, Ann was on the phone to Kenny at my house, and she said that afternoon she had been paging Don all day and he would not return her calls. I told her I'd just gotten in and I didn't know if he was here or not. Kenny said he wasn't. I didn't know until around 6 p.m. that no one ever came to fix the box truck's clutch. At 6:30, when Don did not show up to help feed, I asked the kids to help me. I usually take Jamie out to eat after she helps me feed, but I was a little concerned about Don's not being here, and I wanted to be here when he did get home so that I could explain about the box truck and why it wasn't ready. I was afraid that if he got home and found it not ready, he would assume that I had not relayed his orders and might do something foolish. It's her alibi, that's what's so detailed. I gave up waiting for him after the midnight kitten feeding and went to find him. I had already searched the yard and all of the trailers, but did so again. I then decided to drive by some of his favorite places to hide, like the West Shore property, the condos in Temple Terrace, the Sheldon Road property, and some sleazy motels we used to use. I gave up around 5 a.m., came home, and slept until 7:15 a.m.
Why was you in sleazy motels, Carol?
Tuesday morning, before Ann even went to work, she called me telling me how worried she was, and she said that she had paged Don throughout the night to no avail. I told her this is not unusual for him to do, but she insists that he never treats her this way. She said that I must hate her because she is always in contact with my husband, even when he won't call me. I told her I don't hold that against her because at least I can find out that he's safe and can quit worrying. Ann was really frantic about Don not getting in touch with her, but I find it hard to get all worked up over him disappearing for a day because this has become so much of his behavior with me that it no longer surprises me. I told her I would file a missing persons report, and she decided to call the hospital's morgues and travel agent about his tickets. She said there had been no activity on his credit card, and that's how he usually buys his tickets. A couple days later, the charge came through on his tickets for the 31st of August. Monday, Ann said that Wendell Williams went to the farm, it's 100+ acres in Seffner on Highway 92, and to Vandenberg Airport looking for Don. I find it strange that Don's not gone more than a few hours, and the last place he was known to be was Wendell Williams when he dropped off the 26 signs for the 26 lots. But who should panic and start searching airports other than Wendell? The farm was a legitimate place to look because no one
What are you trying to say, Carol? You trying to blame Wendell?
is there now. Deputy H. Pena came out after I called in the initial info and took my statement. He said that Don is not in jail and that the info on the van will notify them if it is impounded or involved in a wreck. He said they don't often find missing persons who are adults because adults are free to do as they please and are more careful than children about not being found. He said he would call me or the office if they found anything, and that I should call them if Don comes home. He was very polite in dealing with a situation where it appears that I'm overreacting to a straying husband. If he knew anything about Don's history, he probably would not have even bothered to drive out here. There were calls in the memory of Don's car phone. 263-3603 is a non-published, unlisted, and non-existing per Detective Fernandez. 626-4193, which was our office. 243-9760, which is 7108 Riverwood Boulevard, where Sherry and Simeon Frost live. And this isn't in here, but shortly after this, Sherry steals my diaries. And that's, so many people have asked, why is it only negative stuff in your diary?
Oh, Sherry, the one that stole your diaries, made copies, and gave to Joe Exotic? Interesting. Like, who would write all this down in a diary?
Up until this date. And it's because she stole all of my diaries up until this date, and I've only gotten back the pieces of it that the animal abusers and the other people involved in this have given to reporters who felt bad about the fact that my diaries were stolen and I didn't have them anymore. And so they gave me copies of all of the stuff back.
Oh, how nice.
And then the last number was 246-4999, the Lazy Days Superstore.
Hey,
I've asked my brother, Chuck Stairs, to get a copy of our non-long distance phone calls for that week if he can, but he says he will need a warrant. After all of the cats and kittens were fed, Ann called and asked me to check the Riverwood house, because it's empty now. With Don's mental problems, he may have gone there since we used to live there, or maybe he's just looking for his gold. At any rate, I drove out there, and he's not there, although the deer still are, and someone left the gate standing open. I drove home and called Ann with no news, and she said she wanted to go check out the Tampa Bay Executive Airport, because I had told her about Don looking at an experimental plane there last week. I didn't want to wait an hour for her to get here and then have another hour round-trip drive, so I told her I'd go look and call her if my plane were missing, or if the experimental plane were missing. My plane was still there, but the little ultralight-looking experimental plane was not there. I called Ann on Don's car phone before I knew that you could recall the last 5 numbers, so I lost one. And then from the future, I didn't get a copy of this missing persons report until April the 28th of 1998, after my attorney requested it and the sheriff faxed it to me.
Oh, what'd your attorney request it for? Y'all would not believe the comments under this video. There is freaking people asking her for love life advice. I kid you not. What in the hell is wrong with these people? Let's see what that was a damn long one. I had to speed it up a lot. Oh, this is the next one she uploaded about Dawn. Let me cut the volume down till I get past the ad.
1997. Don's van was found at the Pilot Country Airport. The airport manager had discovered it there at 4:30 on Tuesday morning and had asked around about whom it belonged to. When they called police
Okay, so after she just said in the other video that she went to the airport, her little small plane was missing. The other plane was there. So you telling me that she didn't see Dawn's vehicle at the airport when she went to check?
have it impounded, the ID number came back with the notation that the car was reported missing along with Don. Dad drove me up there and we talked to the cops and to the people at the airport, and I got a list of every owner on the runway. some nearby homes, and every plane's owner on the field. I contacted everyone on the list to see if they had any knowledge as to Don's whereabouts, but only one person even knew him, and that was the airport manager, and he did not know anything. No one could remember seeing the van there before 7 p.m. on Monday. These pictures were actually taken in 2020.
You took that van and parked it there, Carol.
The police officer, Mr. Elliott, said that when we got there, he had been watching the buzzards, but it was windy and they were acting confused. He said he had canvassed the perimeter woods and had checked the site over for...
Why did she say that about the buzzards? Why did she throw that in there about the buzzards were circling?
Any signs of a struggle, and had checked the van, good, for signs of blood, but had come up with nothing. He had looked through the van, and the only thing he thought was odd, and I did too, was that in Don's huge garage sale collection, there was a brand new, never opened, Spanish-English dictionary. Don can't read, so what did he need with that? I think, I didn't say this here, but I think probably the reason it seemed out of ordinary to the person looking in there is it was the only new thing in the van. Everything else was trash. When I told Anne about it later, she said that Don had Madeline calling every bookstore in town for one, and Anne, thinking that was a huge waste of time, had Madeline buy a new one for less than $4. The police would not fingerprint the van because they said it was not suspicious, and said that even if they did fingerprint it, there would not be any comparisons made because you have to have a bad guy to compare it to. That's exactly what they said. And no one was sure that a bad guy existed. Dad pointed out that the seat was too far back for Don to have driven, and I pointed out that the turn signals were on, something Don would never do, but it was still not considered suspicious. And my note here says the photos were taken in 2019, and it still looks very much the same as it did back in 1997 as far as like...
It's funny, she put up all these videos. There's several more videos, guys. But she put up all these videos because the press conference. That's what I'm thinking. The press conference is coming. She's got all these videos coming up about his disappearance. It's not a coincidence. She's done it on purpose. Buzzards fly over dead things. Yeah, why did she add that into the video? What was the purpose of it? The video was about...
where everything's located.
Oh, yeah, that was the end of it.
Dear grown-ups.
So we watched that one. Let's see.
August 25th, 1997. Gator the serval was convulsing yesterday and went to an emergency clinic, but the vet doesn't know anything about exotic cats. So, a.m., we had to sedate her because she filed a quiet title suit at the court in N. Queen's various maiden names.
Hold on.
He has put out in N. Queen's various maiden names. The assessed values exceed $250,000. Apparently, he began doing these transfers in December of 1995.
So she's saying that, she said, I checked into the names that Don holds property in and found $140,000 of actual cash he has put out in Anne McQueen's various maiden names. They assessed values exceeded $250,000. Apparently, he began doing these transfers in December of 1995, and I'm sure that he has no paperwork to cover him. Okay, and it says, as soon as I came through the door, Anne was on the phone wanting me to call Don's kids and the media. She had originally said she wanted me to wait until next Monday so that we did not unnecessarily scare the kids. But 2 of them have called her, and she said she is afraid they will accuse her if she doesn't tell them he's been gone a week already. I asked if she wanted to call them or if she wanted me to, and she said she wanted to call because she had talked to Donna Pettis just this morning, and Gail Rathbone is Anne's friend, and that's Dawn's 2 daughters. I told her I would get the press involved if that is even possible. And she just goes on to talk about, the detective asked her for more information about Dawn. And she said, I told him about the van being found and about the credit card purchase of the tickets for the 31st to Costa Rica. He asked if the office would be hiding Don's whereabouts since he has done this to me before. I told him I didn't think so, because Anne keeps calling here looking for any news. And she says, I gave him her name and number. Let me see what the comments are saying, guys. I can't believe she's got these supporters, but she only leaves the good comments. Which I mean, you know, I do that on my channel too. I mean, I don't allow people to be rude to me, but yeah. You can't ask it one little thing about Dawn. She'll block you. Believe me. Mandy, hey Mandy. This woman is creepy as hell. I mean, hell, she raised little cute rabbits to be slaughtered for her big tigers. Like that was really going to, you know, fill up a big tiger, a little bitty bunny. That wouldn't even fill up a bobcat. I can't stand her. I think something's going to happen. She's going. Let me turn my volume down. She's going to go down for something. Has she said enough to get arrested yet? I think if she got charged with something, I think she said enough to get her convicted. I think that for sure. She is really incriminating herself with these video diaries. It's crazy. And like, who writes down all this stuff? Like, I know people that keep journals and write in it every day, but like the things that she writes down and the details is just weird. These could actually not be her diary entries. She could just made it up. Hell, she could have wrote that yesterday and said it was from the 90s. Yeah, it really is bizarre. It's a crazy story. It just kills me how she gets on here and she talks about these people, the way they breed cats, and she has done the same thing. She has made money off those cats. She's made millions off of them. She's lied and said that, you know, they needed medical treatment, some of them, and they didn't. She's lied and said they were rescued, and they weren't. They were bred right there on her property and born right there on her property. But she acts like she's the freaking Mother Teresa of big cats. I mean, a lot of people get into certain types of animals, and once they get into animals, you know, they'll change their mind about breeding them or about, you know, that type of being in captivity. Like, I get it. She could have changed her mind and realized breeding them in captivity was wrong. But the way that she acts about it, she's just a hypocrite. She's just shady. She scammed people. She lies. She writes like a novel. Oh, yeah. In the description, she says she's been writing her story her whole life, Julie. She makes me sick, too. I've got to get off here in a second and figure out what time this press conference is starting. I definitely want to listen to it. I had an article pulled up about it. It's probably going to start about 2, I guess. Let me see. Let's go look. I can't wait to see her cuffed and stuffed. I'd love to see Dawn's daughters take her to court over that will. You know, they only got 10% of their father's estate. Carol got the rest. Okay. It just says press conference Monday. I'm not sure exactly what time it's starting. Oh, one of Dawn's daughters said, her name's Gail, for 23 years I've gone to bed every night knowing that the only chance of seeing him again is in my dreams. For 23 years I've woken every morning to the heartbreak of his strange disappearance, she said. But hopefully, with all this help that we have now, one day soon, all the help we have now, have one day soon, we and you two know the truth. I don't know. She messed up her writing or something. She's just saying, hopefully, one day soon, she will know the truth and the rest of the world will know the truth about what happened to her dad. They need to start proofreading before they put up this crap. It's probably the person that wrote the article. Fault. Yeah, but there is $100,000 reward. Gosh, those bugs are loud. Doesn't say what the conditions of the reward is. It's okay. So their attorney is saying resolving this case is in everyone's best interest. It's in Carol Baskin's best interest. If she cares about Don Lewis, and I want to believe you can't be married to somebody without caring about them. I've seen that happen, he said. I invite her to the table. I invite her to talk and let us know what really happened. More than invite her, we're going to serve her with a lawsuit. Now, it's not a lawsuit for damages. It's a lawsuit for equity. Equity means fairness. It also allows subpoenas and depositions, requests for production, and interrogatories. I think that's how you say it. She's going down. They got a lawyer now. She better be scared. She better hope old Harold's brushed up on his lawyering skills. She just acts like, everybody should just forget about Don's disappearance. And he had family and friends that loved and cared about him. He was a human being. I think she just wants to forget it, I don't know, and just move on like it never happened, put it behind her. Money ain't the issue. Morals and values are, yes. Carmen is a bitch, and she's coming to collect on Carol. Yeah, I do believe that Carol is responsible for his disappearance. I believe she had an accomplice. What's his name? Kenny Carr? I believe he helped Carol. But anyhow, I better get off here, guys, and go in here and see what Mark and Timothy are doing. Maybe fix me a little breakfast, and I will see y'all later. Tomorrow we'll be doing our topics. We may be talking about Carol. We're going to have to see how this press conference goes. Hopefully, they get her charged with something. I'm hoping she gets sued over that will is what I'm hoping. Anyways, it's been a good chat. Y'all have a good day. Be kind and peace. God, that woman's mouth's big.